Kept you waiting, huh?
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or indeed good bloody... I'm not doing it for the whole thing. Good bloody well evening to episode 129 of the UK's #1 gaming podcast, CrossCast. We are part of the Cross Players, a team of podcasters dedicated to bringing you all of our gutter opinions on the incredible games we play, the consoles we love, especially some of us that have bought a brand new one in the last week or so, and the universe of news surrounding them all. And to get things started on today's CrossCast, I'm going to introduce you to the three mugs I absolutely love chatting with. It is Ben, Lewis, and Alex. Hello, chaps.
Hi.
Hello. What are you drinking, Lewis?
I've got a big bottle of water.
That's not big.
It's 1 litre. Wait,
That's pretty big.
let me see.
it?
What's that in old money?
I think it's a litre.
It's a
Maybe not.
litre.
That doesn't look like a litre.
Doesn't look like a litre.
Unless your hands have doubled in size since I last saw you.
Yeah, it's not a litre, that, right?
That's not a litre.
You've been missold.
Sure it is.
Alex, what's your size of a water bottle? That's a litre and a
That's
half.
a beast.
Yeah.
I've also got a bottle of water as well. But mine is from Nintendo New York.
Here he goes. Flex number 1. Is anyone keeping count?
Tally mark started.
Yeah. Which fucking has as well. I'm genuinely making one. 1 for Ben. In fact, no, that's 2 because he's been to New York as well. So
I didn't say that though.
good point.
Nobody said that.
Spoilers. Shit.
I'll have you know, this bottle is actually 18 ounces,
That
which
doesn't
is
help.
532 millilitres.
You asked for old money.
Oh dear.
Half of what he said.
Half of what I said.
Cheap at half the price. What does that even mean? My mum says that. It's like, doesn't mean anything.
Means it's already great value.
So no one's actually drinking. It's just me. I've got a Bailey's. I'm doubling up here. I've got a Bailey's in a rum glass, and I've got a Vocation Love and Hate New England IPA, and that is
Nice.
I didn't realise this. It's 7.2%. So I think I'm genuinely having an anaphylactic shock at the moment where my skin's going beetroot red. So if that happens, I'm not on cocaine. It's just the booze. Ben, what are you drinking? Come on.
I've got a couple of club cocktails on the go, so I'll join you.
You've got the twins out. You've got the twins.
Couples, yeah. I'm strapping in for a long podcast. We've got to do
should
binge
get
chat
a-
after this.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Are we
We're
back?
We're back like Katie Price. Oh, it's
I want to know,
Jordan,
what
not
is
that
it
Jordan.
flavoured, Bailey's?
It's just plain old Bailey's regular. It was 13 or 12 or 13 quid when it should have been 23 in Tesco.
I like a Bailey's.
I like
do.
a Bailey's.
I like a Bailey's.
I quite like
Alex is remaining stoic.
salted caramel one, or whatever it is.
Are you sure? It doesn't sound like you're very sure
No,
about
I'm
that.
trying to think whether it's just
Yeah,
salted.
like salted caramel?
I like the
Do I?
salted caramel one.
Stace, what's the one I like again?
Redundant.
It's Amarula is the one, which is similar to Bailey's,
Sorry.
but it's from South Africa.
Of course.
nice.
Get that
Number
tally
I
mark
haven't
down
been there.
Number 3.
I'm also eating a Freddo. There we go. There's a flex.
there. Not caramel one though.
I'm
Oh,
going to
salted
South Africa
caramel.
next year, by the way.
Are you?
With work, yeah. So there's one for me.
One for Dan. Yeah, we're planning to go there as well, and actually, yeah, probably the Maldives as well. I'm just looking at it. Carry on with it.
That's fine. We have got a marmalade pack show. When the fuck did I write that? Marmalade Patch Show. What was I on there? But before we begin, if you'd like to support us, please give this podcast a review on the service you're using. Follow us over on, it's not even Twitter anymore. Follow us on X at the Crossplayers, or check out thecrossplayers.com for links to all of our content and Discord. Or if you're mad, go to patreon.com/crossplayers and contribute as little as £2 to help us produce the show. And you also get entry into our batshit crazy WhatsApp. Is that still at £2 or is that higher now? I can't remember.
It's still £2.
Still £2.
Still batshit crazy.
Still it really fucking is. Really
Join.
is.
You can ignore Max talking about something
Everything's
he did.
fucking weight loss with him, isn't it? Everything comes back to weight loss. Like
You called that out today, and I was
Thank
like,
you.
do you know what? He does do that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's
What
either
was
he
it
brings
today?
it back to the Steam Deck or weight loss.
What was it today that we were talking about? And he somehow brought it back to weight loss.
The state of the economy and how we're all doomed.
Yeah, I've been eating beans every day. It's like, fuck off, Max. Come on, mate. Give it a rest. There's chubbies in that team. Leave them up. Oh, fucking hell. I won't say what that was.
It sounded final, whatever it was.
It's really gone now. Should we talk about the things we've picked up and played? We haven't recorded for 6 weeks, so
Been that
In
long?
6 weeks.
I think Alex is both morally and financially bankrupt. So we
Yeah.
need to, we need to probably rinse through this list. Oh my god, there's so much on this list. Jesus
much.
Christ. Can I just talk about? We're literally just going to do a pick up and play today, I think, and then we're probably going to talk a couple of other things around where we've been and what we're doing.
Let's do it.
Do we either talk about the Portal now, or do we wait until the end and talk about it? Because I'm pretty sold on one. Ben's been
Trolling.
troll queen galore.
They see me trolling.
trolling like a mean all week about the Portal, but I genuinely want to get your praise on it.
I don't leave it
want
to the
get one.
end.
So leave it to the end. Thank you, Alex.
Let's do it.
Exact decision. Lewis,
Hi.
you're gurning. What have you picked
Gurning?
up? You were like,
So Dan's on the coke. Lewis is on the E. That's actually why we haven't recorded 6 weeks. We've all picked up drug habits. Alex has just stayed on the heroin.
Alex on the Rennies.
What have I
Lewis,
picked up? What have I picked up? Well, over the last 6 weeks, I have picked up Alan Wake 2, I have picked up Baldur's Gate 3, I have picked up Tunic, I have picked up a severe urine infection. I think that's it. Just the three things. Not a normal amount of things, some might say.
And the Tunic one was the £20 deal from Smiths.
£20 sterling,
Good.
which is the currency of the United Kingdom. Got for £20, which is the special edition that includes the map, the instruction booklet, like what's in the game, digital soundtrack, some stickers, and of course the game itself. But like I mentioned in Discord earlier, the real MVP, guys, the real MVP right here is the instruction book. It's so nice. It is so nice, and it's an exact replica of that you pick up in the game.
That's very cool.
It's lovely.
It was
It
that
is lovely.
that sold me on it, and then luckily noticed they had it on Amazon today at £20.
Oh, is that where you got it?
Yeah,
okay.
so I ordered that. So
Oh shit, is it on Amazon?
Did you get the Switch version?
yes.
Tunic.
But
I
it
already
is-
finished it on Xbox last year, but it's one of those that I loved, and it would be nice to have
Yeah.
for the collection.
I kind of dropped off it because I was like, I want to play this handheld. I didn't want to use Backbone, blah, 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 But it's nice.
Oh, it's 40
Additional
quid on.
artwork, Ben. I think the additional artwork is actually, it's just sort of plain just now. It's like just white, sort of plain additional
Right.
artwork. So I don't know if it knows when you play the game, it might fill in.
Like the instruction book in the game, it sort of fills itself in. over
I think
time.
so. That's
makes
what I
sense.
understand of it anyway.
Amazing what they can do these days.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I knew this was going to be
Good.
one of those where I'm just literally on my phone.
Nice little package.
Yeah. But yeah,
Like those.
I think you'll agree. The book, lovely to thumb through.
Okay, talk to me about that. No, Alan Wake 2 can probably wait to near the end as well, because that's another thing I want to pick up. And I think that's, you finished that now, haven't you?
I finished it, yeah.
So you ready to go full tilt and talk about it?
Do you want me to do it now?
No.
Okay.
Saving it. I've got
Saving
my
it.
story.
We're
Calm
backloading
down,
the show.
Warren. Jesus.
Yeah, we've got to fill out 6 weeks worth of content here.
I bought dice.
Oh, you nerd.
Oh wow, are you playing D&D now? Are you?
No, but I've become obsessed with D&D and dice. This is a D20. I'm led to believe. And that's what the noise it makes.
I know what that means now.
It's like calling the people for prayer. People wouldn't have heard that. Yeah.
I had dice. What do I have dice for? Oh yeah, the God of War ones. But they can be used for D&D apparently. 20-sided dice. But I don't know where they are. If you want them, I'll find them out for
Lewis,
you.
you called Max a virgin today for going to D&D.
Listen, don't pay any attention to what I say in the WhatsApp because I'll happily belittle people whilst in actuality love what they're doing.
So, again, from as little as £2 a month.
If you want to be slated and at the same point appreciated.
Where's that
Secretly
hypocrite
respected.
song?
What?
Was that hypocrite song?
I am a massive hypocrite. I want to appear sort of cool and aloof, but in actuality, I want to just be involved and accepted
by everything and everyone.
Coming down. Pop another X quickly.
Yeah, I am. Ben, you've got the second shortest list. So,
thank you.
What have you picked up, mate?
I picked up a P45. Picked up Remnant 2 for the PS5. I mean, sorry.
It's pronounced redundant.
Redundant too.
Again. Yeah, picked up Remnant 2. I think it was like 20 quid or something for the PS5. And I thought, that's a good deal. That's one of those games that seems to have been very highly rated, very highly respected, and then like 2 days later, everyone forgot about it.
Yeah, Destiny 2-ish by the looks of things. And
yeah. Well, the way I heard someone describe it that sold it to me was as like a Souls game, but with guns. So that sounds pretty cool to me.
I might pick that up then.
You know, shooting a gun is much like firing a magic spell, isn't it? In many ways.
You can have distance. That's the main thing, isn't it? That's all you want. You want distance.
Don't want to swing a big slow sword. Just want to shoot people from afar. So
is that in the Black Friday sale? Remnant.
This was a couple of weeks ago that I actually got it. But I'd be very surprised if it wasn't a similar price. Definitely sub 30, I would imagine, on Black Friday. But yeah, God knows when I get around to playing it. But looks like a good one.
Since you guys said about me being on drugs, I've like knocked the microphone 3 times. I'm starting to slur my words. Yeah, it's still in. I can still get Tunic. So I want to get Tunic, I want to get Remnant 2, and I want to get Alan Wake 2. So they're the 3 things I need to try and. Okay, all right, okay. It's out of stock absolutely everywhere.
Oh, ball bags.
Ball bags out of stock. Bollocks. Anyway, that one's gone. Okay, so the things that you've mentioned, interesting. Alex,
I've not bought anything.
deep breath.
Oh yeah. You know the prices of these.
Lewis is going to update that list. Yes. So
Have you still got a husband? Is the main thing that we need? Okay, that's
I just
good.
have a husband.
I really wish I could
as you've probably all worked out about me, when I get a little bit stressed or a little bit anything, I start spending money.
Me and you both, mate.
So I bought a Quest 3. I bought 480.
480.
God.
I bought
480.
I got a Super Pocket title thing for my birthday, so that doesn't count, right?
Did you buy it?
It was for my birthday.
Well, you might have bought it for yourself.
I will, but it's no point.
Did you buy it for
Did you buy it for yourself?
Well, probably, basically. It's not like anybody bought it for
Hold
me,
on.
but it was for my birthday.
That's the cheapest thing on that list. I bought that for me birthday. Like, you could have said that about the Quest 3, couldn't you?
No, but it was actually for my birthday.
Right. I want to include that.
I've also got Tunic, but I got a PlayStation version because I'm going to play it handheld for the PlayStation on the Portal. Because I got
Get
Portal.
them trophies.
Get the trophies, yeah. And then while I was in Smiths, even though we said I wasn't going to buy Forspoken, it was £8, so I bought Forspoken. I got Mortal Kombat 1 with the Steelbook.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
That was
that
what,
is
35, wasn't it? Yeah.
35, but I had vouchers on game collection, so it was 28.
Well, was it,
That's
Dan?
fine. I also picked up Half-Life Alyx eventually, because now I can play PC VR games, so I can finally play Half-Life Alyx. And it was in the Steam sale, so it was only £16 instead of 50. So I thought I need to pick it up, and it's the cheapest it's ever been.
£16.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing for that game.
So like having that, so I'm looking forward to playing. I mean, that's what I can remember buying. It's definitely not a definitive list.
Pardon?
It's absolutely not a definitive list. But that's what
So I would imagine you've picked up some, much like I have, a load of digital stuff as well.
Yes.
That you just forget about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely have. I suppose Super Mario Wonder I've picked up since then as well.
Oh, yeah.
True. Yeah.
Which I
same.
forgot about.
Good point.
Old news.
There is. Aye, so I've spent a wee bit of money.
Yeah, I mean,
£755.
what it was.
That's
Minimum.
what that was, yeah.
Minimum fucking hell.
Ah, well.
I took a couple of quid off when you said, points got it for 28. I just randomly, I knocked a couple of quid off. I was
I mean,
meant
though,
to
if you
759, but
compare
material.
that to the beginning of the year, there has been a bit of a credit crunch. So, like,
oh yes, yes.
I mean, compared to what I spent at the start of the year.
You're on the bread line. We get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
He says with his picture perfect background of like a Star Wars.
Well, I suppose we could go in the other direction here and say I haven't bought any controllers.
Okay.
Yeah, that's enormous restraint.
That
Yeah.
is
Has been
Although-
one released.
Yeah.
There's been
Kind
2 or
of.
3 new ones.
You've
I have
kind
bought.
of bought a controller.
Yeah, but
in
I
a
said
way.
that. Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna pick a couple of things out then. So, talk to me about the Quest 3 first. I know you probably covered this on PS. Oh shit, I forgot the name of it. Crossbutton VR.
Wow.
Topical.
The disrespect.
See you in 6 weeks. On Crossbutton VR, but is it a leap ahead of PSVR 2, or is it
No,
just?
I find it quite complimentary. I think the thing that sold me on the Quest 3 was the mixed reality stuff rather than the virtual reality
That
stuff.
is cool.
What would you like for your steak? You know what? I'll have another steak, please.
It's just like getting a T-bone, isn't it? Yeah.
What?
Well, so, but there's some things like the Quest 3 does better than the VR 2, but there's plenty of things the VR 2 does better than the Quest. And it's, I think where it's good just now is like Meta's ended the year quite well on exclusives. So there's stuff coming out there. You've got Assassin's Creed that's just come out. Your Power Wash Sim. You've got Wallace and Gromit coming, which is not going to be for everyone, but I think that'll be great. You've got
think that'd be
Stranger
great.
Things next week.
That'll be cracking.
You've got so from in terms of a software side of things, there's quite a lot coming, but the mixed reality stuff is great. Like all of that side of it, like some of the little games I've been playing this week in terms of like this Track Craft, which is just this little like it's almost like a little remote control car, and you manipulate and build the tracks, and you can make it bigger or smaller, and it's just it's basically in your room or in wherever you're playing it, and it's just so cool. But I'm really
done
pleased with it.
I don't know why this jumped into my head, and it proper tickled me when I was thinking about it when you started playing it a couple of months or a month or so ago back. Have you ever done it bolloco? Just sat there in like augmented reality, and then you just like looking around with a little train track, and then you just see your penis. Well, that's weird. And then you play games again.
No.
Well, how can I make my penis into some sort of ramp?
Yeah, but that's I like the augmented reality. That's the right one, isn't it? Yeah, I love the video that you put up of that. The first one where you kind of like firing little space creatures that are coming through the thingy, because I think it was one of those videos that meant more to you because when you're in that experience, it's just like fucking hell, this is game changing. But to everyone else, just a video of like your room with just like a load of things coming through it. But yeah, desperately want to try that at some point. They had one in Curry's, I think, the other day for a test unit. But
It's really cool. I think it is. I mean, I don't know for normal people how much there is there. Like,
wow,
on top of
that's austerity.
No, I mean in terms of not as much of an idiot as me in terms of normal rather than anything other. Like, I don't think there's much other than the exclusive software.
Early adopter shit, isn't it? That's the whole point.
But it's I do, because PSVR 2 was the first headset, I think having this one and like just losing that cable straight away. Like you'd now notice the cable on the PSVR because you're used to them being in that and not having the cable, and it is very freeing not to have that there. And I don't notice the weight or anything that much with it being a standalone unit. Then things like Assassin's Creed, I think games like that need to come to the PSVR 2 because they're so good. And it does a really good job for being a standalone unit at how well it processes. And then it's open, and I think the other thing is it means I can now go and play stuff like Alex and things like that, and use it for the PC VR too, given I've got a PC that can do it and has hardly really been used either. So
you should put up a tweet saying that there's a PC here gathering dust because there's no games for it, and see what sort of traction that gets. All right, so my pickups, I picked up Gran Turismo 5. Is that the right one? 7. Thank you. That's the right one.
Not played it yet, no?
No, still in the wrapper. Picked that up. That was 30 quid, I think, from Curry's. That was on offer. Plus, I got like 5 months free of Apple TV.
yeah, they're
With
good
it,
with
I
that.
was like,
Curry's good like that.
in itself, that's worth it. I was like,
Curry's is great.
it is great. What an absolute time to be alive at Curry's.
Curry's.
Got these two.
The shop.
Loop Hero and Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah. Signature. I don't even know when I ordered them because then I must have forgotten that I ordered one of them and then ordered it again. So I've got 2 copies of that. Anybody
Oh, I
wants
thought
a
you had
copy?
3.
No, 2.
I thought you got like a one with a sleeve, and then you got another 2.
Nope. Just for some reason panicked and then ordered another one and I can't remember.
When on earth did you order Loop Hero?
I had
Mine
no idea.
came ages ago.
No idea. No idea. It had a shitload of like custom stickers and stuff over mine, so I don't know if it's just like gone around the
Stuck
world a few
somewhere.
times. It's looped. So
Paused.
who knows? I've written on there Alan Wake 2 because I was hovering over the button about to buy it on PC, and then you said about PS5, and I was like, oh. So I'm probably still going to wait and get it on PS5 once I've finished a few games. So I'll probably get that. I bought Stardew Valley. It just so happened to have a Tesla Model 3 attached to it. So that's...
Wow.
that
DLC is crazy.
It was, although it's the worst game in the world to play because it's touchscreen and it's so fucking boring. I was sat there the other day, like waiting for the car to charge, just like, just fucking harvest that. Yeah, okay. Well, it's nearly night time. Right, let's swipe up and go over there. It's like fucking awful.
I guess that is the one way to make Stardew Valley interesting, though, is playing it at high speed on a motorway.
Yeah.
Threat of death.
This is the element of risk in that game is negligence of driving. The only other
Did
game-
anyone mark 1 point extra for Dan there as well?
Thank you. Just one.
For the Tesla mention.
I do feel bad when I said
-5 for Stardew.
-5. Yeah, when I said I was downsizing the car to you, Ben, and then I was like, oh, tell them what car I got. But that is saving me a lot of money for any nerds out there. So no road tax. Electric is ridiculous if you get a charger at home. As in, it's more expensive now than it ever has been, but it's also damn sight cheaper than fuel is, so no-brainer.
Yes.
But we're saving roughly about 350 quid a month just by running that car. Yeah, so there you go.
That's
So
very,
I've been savvy
very good.
more so than Alex.
Yeah.
That is all my pickups, I think. I can't. Oh yeah, I got one of those. Nice.
What's that?
The MX Master 2 is on offer at the moment on Amazon. So usually, I think most of our group have got the 1. Yeah, I don't know if yours the 1 or 2, Alex, but the 2 went up for 30 odd quid.
I did a 2.
Really?
Hey.
No,
Right. Let's
compare
let's just hone in on that. What? So how much was that mouse, Dan? If you don't mind.
30. I think 32 quid or something like that.
Oh,
That's pretty reasonable. And
I thought you
is
were
that
going to
like
say something ridiculous.
is that a really good mouse?
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good mouse. It's about meant to be
What
100
is
quid.
good about it? Just the ergonomics, or
Ergonomics, it lasts for 70 days, I should say. I think the
what? Then you have to buy a new one. That's pretty poor.
just disintegrates. And then you've got, I think the thing about the mouse I love is the ergonomics. Okay, that is pretty much the ergonomics, isn't it? Where you're explaining where the buttons are and how easy it is to use.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't know, it's just nice to hold.
It side scrolls as well, which I really like. It's got a side scroll button.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
And it's
the one
got
I've had,
extra buttons in your thumb.
yeah, I've had 2 with these. I've got one in work at the moment, and then this one, and they've survived 2 kids. So, yeah, they're pretty decent.
That's pretty good.
What else? I think that's pretty much it for hiccups. Should we talk about the things that we played?
Yeah, that's much more exciting.
Can I start? Because
Yeah.
I think it's probably
Please.
one that you've all played, so we can probably talk about it. Be collective in it, because it is one of the games of the year. That's Mario Wonder. I had an absolute ball with that game. That was so much fun, and I think to be able just to pick that up and stick it on for like a couple of levels each day was amazing. It's the first game in ages where I've actually picked it up in the morning. I played a couple of rounds, and then I've actually wanted to 100% it, as in just some of the levels that are trickier, where you might not get both of the Wonder Seeds for, that you can go back and then replay that level and then really try and go through it. Like, the culmination of learning in that game gives me hope for Mario in the future, whereas previously, I'd say the last 4 or 5 Mario games, prior, that came after Odyssey, let's say, have just been naff. So to really get that, I was blown away by it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So, what a shit demo we played at EGX as well.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What an awful. I think any demo of that game in isolation would have been awful, but there's so much more interesting parts further down that game that even if they put you in one of the 5 or 6 difficulty star levels and then gone, right, just go and have a go at that and then see how you are for 20 minutes, that would have been more of an experience in that game than the benign kind of first 2 or 3 that they let us play. But anyway, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I guess it's quite one of those things you need to, because there's going to be loads of kids wanting to play it. I get it would have been good to have the option of playing it. Kids, smash them at Rocket League. It would be good to have the option for that to have been there. But I enjoyed the EGX demo. I thought it was quite good. But yeah, in retrospect, in comparison to the game, it was a shell, a mere husk of what the final game actually was, and I loved it. I loved it a bit more when I turned online on and just had a lot of randoms playing at the same time, specifically for the for the levels where you just go in and it's like a room and you've got to find the little tokens.
Yeah.
And the fact that people are like going up and I can't remember what it's called, teabagging an area, like teabagging the ground or whatever it is. I can't remember. Jumping, that's it. To tell you that something happens there, or you can jump there to reach another area. I thought that was really cool because I was struggling on a couple of games. Like, I don't know what I'm meant to be doing here. And then I'd see someone in a bit that I didn't think you'd get to. I was like, right, well, something's there. I need to figure out how to get there, and then try and see where they would come out. But it just seemed quite wholesome, which is a far cry from what you'd see normally when everyone's not being very nice to each other. But I thought that was really cool. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed my time with Mario Wonder. I've jumped back into it a few times since I finished it.
Yeah. Ben, played it?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's just that whole... I can imagine why the demo wouldn't have played that well, because it's almost like the accumulation of different ideas is almost part of the fun of it, because you're like, ooh, what's going to happen next, and what's this level going to be all about? It's just bursting with creativity, isn't it? And it's just fucking lovely.
Yeah.
Just such a wholesome, just pure fun game that's, just puts gameplay at the forefront and delights you at every single opportunity. I quite like the options it gives you in terms of the kind of level you're going to play. So some of them are just really quick, Lewis, like those, whatever they're called, hide and seek, or
can't remember
those levels are. And then you've got some that are just really quick, like puzzly ones, or little ones where you have to kind of run a gauntlet of 3 or 4 enemies, things like that. There's just a lot. There's a lot in it, and it's just goes to show, even in like such an ancient genre as a 2D platformer, there's still room to create new ideas or just rework ideas that other 2D platformers have, succeeded in the last few years. There's a lot of elements that it's taken from, the likes of Celeste and Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze and things like that. And it's good. It's really, really, really good. I'm very happy to see Mario on top.
If I just jump back in, there was one level that I got to after I finished it. It's one of the sort of stages you need to unlock. In the first world, there's a load of hippos there, and you're sort of boom, boom, kind of flapping to get from one end of the stage to the other. And I was like, there was weird images. The hippos looked funny. I was like, this was reminding me of something, and I didn't quite get it until the latter end of the stage. I was like, this is like a level in six golden coins.
Right.
With the hippos. I think it was the hippo stage. You'd go into the big hippo mouth.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
And there's lots of like bubbles and stuff like that. I was like, this is exactly
jump
the
in the
same.
bubble.
Yeah. It was the same kind of thing and the same kind of sound effects. And it just sort of eventually linked into some dark crevice in my mind that made me remember. I was like, man.
Yeah.
And then it made me think of that game.
Yeah. There's a lot of bits like that do kind of trigger memories of like Mario World, or I think there's even some music from old Mario games as well.
A lot in there from 3. I noticed. I think the part that surprised me is like Mario, by definition, is nostalgic anyway. For all of us, that's the whole point of why that franchise is successful. But then playing it, I've not felt as nostalgic about Mario games as I have by playing through Wonder. And it was just that, you know, it's like playing World, it was like playing 6 Golden Coins, there was definitely Mario 3 in there, definitely some Mario 2, just all the different elements. But the craft that's gone into every level and the love all the way through to the end credits of that game, the love in that game that they've had, it's just like reverence for their source material of going like, yeah, let's fucking do this sounds really funny, let's try that. It's just raised the bar. No, I don't think it's raised the bar for platformers, because I think that's happened already. I'd probably say this hits the bar and adds like a level of polish to it.
Yeah.
For Mario games especially. But I would probably say in terms of Mario games, this has absolutely raised the bar. Where I don't really think it can go back. It was just lovely. Alex, did you play this? Well, I'm sure you
I
did.
have played it, yeah. So I probably came off the lowest when we came away from EGX from that demo, because I'm a bit like, I was really looking forward to it, and then I played that, I'm like, I don't know, I'm a wee bit, and then...
You'd never have thought that. Looking at you, EGX, with your paper Mario hat, or your Mario tote bags on, your Mario
He was there with
lanyard.
his tin of yellow paint, with his Mario hat on at the end.
I was enjoying the experience more than the game, but like, once you played that, like, it gave me so much more joy than I expected, like, in that straight away. Like, it really is a touch of magic, and it really, as you say, reinvigorates Mario in a way that I didn't expect. I haven't finished it. I've played it a lot less than you guys, just with everything else that I've been playing, but I'm enjoying it when I do play it, and I don't want to rush through it, and I'm happy, as you say, pick up a couple of levels here and there. I'm not playing it every day, but I'm playing it regularly, and Lewis is enjoying sitting watching me play it and stuff like that, which is nice. So,
you can run out of things to say about it. There's loads of super laxatives, in terms of like how good that game is.
He's moved on from cocaine. He's on the other thing I did want to point out was the as much as it kind of harks back to old games, it doesn't get stuck in the tropes as much as like the new Super Mario Brothers one. So there's a bunch of new enemies, which I think is the best thing in the world. Like just throwing stupid stuff out there.
Do you know one thing that improves it tenfold from the new Super Mario Brothers games? That it doesn't go dun 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 ba ba with the Goombas stop and dance.
But the flowers, I love the little talking flowers.
Six little guys.
That guy's
hey,
voice,
what are you doing over here?
It's so well fitted for it. It just shouldn't be in a game. And he's like, well, hold on, you want me to be the flower? I auditioned for fucking something mad. I love
Bosses are a bit weak. But
they are weak.
In a way, I don't mind that, because that's always like the bit of a game I look forward to the least. So like when you get to the boss of one of the battleships, and it's like, well, I've just got to get to the end of this level and jump on a button.
Yeah.
Like it's almost quite nice in a way that they're so
That was
easy.
Mario 1. That was like dodging through the flames, wasn't it? And then just being able to hit something. So it's skill, but a level of skill that you've adapted, curated over 30. Oh my god, it's Jason Bourne. I think the one part that really knocked me off my perch with it. Knocked me off my perch. Fuck are you on about? It's the cocaine. It was. So this is Jesse's first game that he's played, where he's actually completed levels on his own, and that he'll be play through maybe 4 or 5 of the same one. But there was one where he just kept on purposely playing as Nabbit, purposely falling down like a thingy because he knew I wanted him to jump over it. And at one point, he just figured it out and jumped. I was like, and then he completed the level on his own. I was like, fuck. And then he did the next level on his own, and I was like, it's so well positioned for kids to play. And Jesse's only 4. And he's like trying to figure his hands around a pro controller, and he managed to do that. And I was like, "Oh my god, this is his first game, and it's a Mario game that is nostalgic of me playing World on the SNES way back when, and NES in Mario on the NES way back when as well. So it felt very full circle as well.
Yeah,
just nice.
Nice.
That's Mario Wonder. Cutting off there. Other wonderful things that we've all played. So I'm going to ask Lewis to give his first opinion on Baldur's Gate. It says here 3. Is that right?
That's the one.
The third.
The third.
The third.
Wow.
Thrice.
The third one. Yeah. So,
How far are you in? Act 1, 2? What are you?
I am in the Underdark, which is still Act 1.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm like 20 something hours, 22 or
hell.
so. Enjoying it, really liking it. Taking it with a pinch of salt and turning it like, who's it? Phil was saying, "Oh, don't be overwhelmed with all the options. It may not necessarily hold your hand to begin with." And
I think that's sorry, Phil. I think loads of people have said that, and I think that's really bad advice because I think it's given people a lot of impression that it is overwhelming, and I don't think it is when you actually. It's like any game mechanic; it just takes a bit of time to.
I think you just have to trust that, and I'm still at that stage where I'm at with it. I don't know what's going on half the time.
Yeah,
but I seem to be progressing, and I seem to be leveling up.
Yes,
and it's fun.
Sorry,
yeah.
Phil.
Go on, Lewis. Sorry.
So yeah, I didn't find it overly overwhelming, but I was like, I'm aware that there's going to be a lot of stuff in it. Mr. Ward,
Sorry,
yes.
what are you playing it on?
The PS5.
PS5. Sorry, carry on.
I forgot what I was saying.
You didn't find it overwhelming.
Yeah, I didn't find it overwhelming. Full stop. That's me finished.
10 out of 10.
But I knew there'd be bits there that I didn't understand. And I think I initially started playing it as I would normally play a game and kind of be gung-ho. And I found myself dying all the fucking time. I was like, this is hard. How am I supposed to do this? Like getting past fucking a wee brain with legs. Like what's happening here? Like it was just really difficult. And then I was like, right, let's take a step back. Just ease yourself into this. And from that point, still dying quite a lot, even at this point, but not as much. And feeling more confident to be going to do things, spend a little bit of time between saves because I've been burnt maybe 45 minutes worth of gameplay and I've died and I've had to go back to a previous save. But really enjoying it, trying to just soak up the vibe that the game gives off and trying to not be that character. I'm not as much of a wank as that.
Stanislavski technique of being the character.
Yeah. But it's trying to answer how maybe they would want to answer and not how I would want to answer because I want to be everyone's friend. Shock. I don't want to be rude to NPCs because they might think I'm a baddie. So yeah, I try and act as if the character. And the character I picked is a Githyanki. I initially picked a bard, but I've reclassified as a cleric. Okay. And I think there might be pricks because you get the prompt for their speech, and they just seem like absolute dickheads, like wankers. So I'm trying to be a wanker. It's difficult. I'm not gonna lie.
So how do you reclass? Is that the guy at your camp?
Yeah.
Okay.
Corpse fella, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Trev.
With Withers.
Withers, that's it.
Withers, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I spoke to Withers. But yeah, again, what Phil was saying. Try and go every door, investigate every area, see what you can see. Because I had got to a part where I'd gone into the mountains and it says if you continue down this path, it will be bitterly difficult. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll fuck off back this way. And there was still so much more that I hadn't done. Like I hadn't at that point met Astarion, whatever his name is.
Yeah,
The guy with the white hair that had his way with Ben.
that's the fella.
That's the guy. So just loads of wee paths I hadn't gone down. And so now, having done most of the first missions, I guess, I'm now making my way towards Act 2.
Via the Underdark.
Via the Underdark, yes.
So I did this. I did a very similar thing. So I went to the Underdark first, and then made my way through that, and got to that point where it says, you might want to have a look around, because after this point, you're a bit underleveled and blah, blah, blah. So I went back and did exactly the same thing, and then went the Mountain Pass route
Okay.
to go to Act 2, basically, after that. So, yeah, it's just good just kind of getting lost in it. I'm enjoying that a lot. I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing at any given point. Genuinely, like, what is the story? What am I know I've got this thing in my head. I don't really get why am I here? And I don't understand it. So I would say, because of that, it hasn't grabbed me that much. Like I'll play it if I fancy playing something chilled out, but I'm not like, oh my god, this is amazing, this is a game of the year at all. Like
I'd agree with that. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think on face value, it probably is still game of the year, but I probably have enjoyed Tears of the Kingdom more. This is a separate conversation for a different day. I think we'll leave that part there, because we want to do that next week. I
It'll be
think
a juicy podcast that covers that.
that's going to be fights.
Shit. What did you say there, Ben?
Baldur's Gate 3, juicy time.
Juicy times.
what's going on? No idea.
With the spoons.
It's to do with what's going on. What's going on? I can't remember.
Story.
It's been a while since I've done this, and it's been a while since I've had to remember anything. Spoke to people.
Yeah.
Lewis lives
Rusty.
alone. He just lives in a
Like a
cupboard.
hermit.
Yeah.
These are my clothes behind me.
Comes out to podcast. That's just an
Someone
illusion.
comes-
It's just a green screen. It's just
Grab a
flaming
quote
mess. He lives in Mordor. Okay, so we'll call it there on BG3, because I think it'd be quite good to debate that further when we do get to a game of the year and updated top 10 list. We're doing top 10 or top 20? Top 20.
We could do Benny's 20s.
Benny's 20s.
Jeez. Do Benny's 20s. Alex, going to come to you next, because I want to know about Bluey.
So,
And
see, let's do Bluey first, right? Because it's... so see, you were talking about there about... Oh, on you go, sorry.
Sorry, mate. I'm being sorry.
You're going to forget what you want to say now.
I've drank far too much. I'm going to get another one. I'll shut up. So the criticism seen of Bluey to kind of like set the scene is that it's not as good as a TV show or a TV episode.
Wow, it must be fucking terrible then.
Yeah. Go on, Alex.
Bluey's
Ben.
No, right, so to your point around like your son's first completion of a Mario level. So for Bluey, my son got his first trophy. So I mean, like, so that's a fairly special moment. Like when you see that and you're like, you see that.
Him sat there with his little water bottle, like
he was sitting on the PlayStation Portal and he got his first trophy, and I'm like, that's so good. But it's really good. Like, it's none of these games are good, right? None of these outright games, I think, as it make all these games, like, they're not good games. Like, they're not. But this is one of the better ones, I would say. Like, because it's Bluey, like, it's nice little story that it's trying to tell. It is set up in an episodic way, so you're, like, doing different bits of, like, what's supposed to be, like, an episode, so that you're progressing it through. It's got collectibles in there. It's got different mini games in there. It's what you'd expect for one of these games, but it is one of the better games, and it's great for kids. And kids that like Bluey are going to love this. Like, they are going to love it.
It's nice to hear something overwhelmingly positive about this game, because people have been dunking on it a little bit. And I was like,
I think that's unfair. I mean, none of these games are ever good. Like,
Yeah, what do you expect?
what do you want for kids to play for the
little
first game?
kids.
Yeah.
Is it the same folk that did the Peppa Pig game?
yeah. So it's
Okay. Paw Patrol.
Yeah, this is probably the
All right,
best of
lads,
any
calm
of the
down.
ones that I've tried to play. Like, of any of those ones, this is definitely like the best one. It's the most well structured. It's almost not quite an open world or anything, but it's a bit more of a 3D world that is a proper Bluey house and stuff, and you can go and explore within that. So kids will enjoy just doing that. Like, but I think it's unfair to criticise it because you're not going to get a game like this that's going to be like, oh my god, it's an amazing game. It tells an amazing Bluey story. It's not going to do that. Like, it's not going to work in a game. Like, not unless you make it something like a Telltale game that's actually just telling you a story. If you want to go and interact with this, you need to do simple things, and it needs to be a simple structure and a simple mini game, and you're not going to intertwine an amazing episode into that. Well, not without dumbing it down completely. Like, you're not actually doing anything. You want the kids to be doing something with it.
Off the top of my head, I'm trying to think of like really successful TV to game, and obviously South Park, Stick of Truth, Fractured Butthole. They're the two that kind of jump out as like great games. I really enjoyed them. Fantastic. The other one was what I never remember. I think it was Welcome to Springfield was PC. At least
Simpsons Hit and Run was good as well.
Most of the Simpson games were fine, but like 25 years ago, there was one where it's like a Carter, but you were able to like walk all around Springfield, or at least it felt like a condensed version of it, but you were able to go
to all the places that you wanted to go.
Yeah, we've spoke about this before,
Yeah,
and
we
it
have.
was fucking cool, and it was just like
Yeah.
it was an element of
It's like peak 1997. This.
really wasn't it? And I'd love to see if you can run a version of that now, because just to go back to that, I think it still would hold up, because it is. You can go to like Moe's Tavern, you can find things in there like Easter eggs, and you're able to bring them back, and then it's almost like a little bit of a narrative behind all the different places that you go to. But other than that, what other TV shows have had good games? I can't
Also,
think.
with that, I'd like just to say, I love how you also referenced Encarta as the.
Yeah,
Encarta.
I'm getting a beer. Take my bag off 1 second.
Dan's got to get a beer. He's sat
He just left
with a
us.
shawl over his knees like an old granny.
Taking his blankie off.
Will I move on to some of my other games while he's gone? So that was Bluey. The other one I played, you two both played last year, I'm sure. So Worldless, you guys played at EGX last year.
We did. Yeah.
So it was-
Worldless?
yeah, so it was one of the ones that Goat Sank Thunderfall. It was like the little Metroidvania.
Metroidvania,
The
kind of Hollow Knight-ish
thing.
looking. Yeah, that
Yeah.
thing with the
That thing.
in the weird map.
So I've been playing that again on the Portal, and it's very good. Very different. I'm quite surprised. Like, I've never played a Metroidvania that's got turn-based combat. Like, I find
I never got that far.
like it's so that the combat being turn-based is really does change it up a bit, but it's like it's really the art style of it is lovely. Like, the music is lovely. It's quite intricate and quite difficult. I have struggled with although it's turn-based combat, it's like all around timing the blocks and everything of like the enemies that come towards you, and the key objective is you need to beat these enemies to be able to absorb them, and as you absorb the enemies, you absorb like a power orb type thing, which you can then.
He's still talking about Bluey.
I was going to say,
Yeah, we've moved on from Bluey officially, but so you absorb it to upgrade like your skill tree, and it's like how it presents it all really nice. Like to see the map for the area that you're in, you just hit the left. I think it's L3 you hit, but it comes up almost as just this little like branch map, like
Aye.
off out of your head and stuff, and it's really, really cool, really well done. I've really enjoyed playing that. And
is that a
it's
Metroidvania? It's a Worldless, is this?
Yeah.
Sorry. Is it Metroidvania in that way? So
yes, so it's Metroidvania in terms of you need to go and gather these skills. You've got bosses to beat. You've got to upgrade to like get your double jumps, your dashes, all these things to get to different areas. But all the combat is turn based.
that's weird. Okay.
So it does really change it up a bit.
That's like
I
great
think-
for Lewis up until the point of being turn based. It's like,
But it's not.
We
not.
played that. That's BS, Ben. That is BS. Before Spit. We played
Yes,
that
it
game.
was just before being spat on, wasn't it?
Oh yes, I remember.
which one shall I go with?
Oh, what have you got there? Read them out.
Blue Dog,
President.
Mr. President. That's 9.2%. I don't know what I've done here. I'm off tomorrow, so it's a good thing. Or a New England IPA, Beavertown Space Hulk, 6%.
Ooh,
9.2. Mr.
that one
President.
sounds much better.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Beavertown.
No, the other one. Come on.
Yeah, you are. Player.
All right, that was Worldless. Let's go with Backpack Hero. What the fuck's that?
Backpack Hero was
Say
shown
it again.
on the
Pronounce it more.
Backpack Hero.
Thank you.
Was
Backpack.
Like a
it came
rucksack.
out on Steam last year. Had a bit of buzz about it, but it was at the recent Indie World
That shite
presentation
one. That really
showcase.
shite one.
I thought
Oh, yeah, that was a shit one. Eh?
we were
Was
lucky enough
awful.
to get a code for Backpack Hero, which is a game that's right up my alley because it is kind of like Slay the Spire with a little bit of Darkest Dungeon and a little bit of Resident Evil 4 inventory management.
Oh, I forgot about Resident Evil 4. There's something else for that.
Another one.
Still,
So
but
basically, oh, there it is.
It was right there.
Nice. So yeah, it's a dungeon crawler where you are kind of the combat is basically you've got a backpack, you've got your sword in your backpack, a shield in the backpack, and you can click on one of those things. If you click the sword, you'll do damage to the enemy. Click the shield, you'll protect yourself, and you just basically pick up items that make life easier for yourself. And
Health,
you know, if you-
shield, that kind
yeah, if you get a whetstone and put it next to the sword, it will make it sharper every time you use it to do 1 point extra damage, things like that. If you get some shoes and then you put them at the bottom of your backpack, they'll have an effect on everything that's above it. Think like really, you know how like just
of.
these
Oh,
little.
sorry, go back on that. if you have shoes and you put them at the bottom of the backpack, what?
So like they'll for example, they might give, you know, increase your defense for every row above those shoes. Your defense is increased by 1. Little things like that.
Computer games.
You know, if you get a left glove, put it on the left hand side. Everything to the
right
right.
glove, leave it on
Yeah.
this.
Exactly. But it's just very like intricate little systems, and you go in a kind of Moonlighter style. You take all your gubbins that you gather in your backpack back to town, and then you can flog all of them, buy stuff to upgrade the town, and then you go back into the dungeon, unlock new areas in the dungeon, get more space in your backpack, blah blah blah. It's just good roguelike fun, and yeah, I like it a lot.
I like it a lot.
Like it a lot.
It sounds,
Yeah.
it sounds shit.
Yeah, I don't expect it to be for everyone, but it's right up my alley. Love it.
And the keep you on the hook, Ben. 2 DLCs.
Yes,
Resident Evil 4 first. So that's the what? Which one is it?
Separate Ways
Yeah, separate ways.
DLC, which
That's
is
that's a DLC that was there with the original 4. That was something I was back in the
I
day.
can't remember if it came out when it was released on all different platforms. But yeah, it's a rehash of that anyway.
Okay.
So it's basically Ada Wong, who is, you encounter her throughout Leon's story in Resident Evil 4, and she'll sort of come in, say something sassy. She might help you out. She might just give you a bit of back chat and then fuck off. Love her to bits. So you play as her, and you get to see what she's doing all the time that Leon is doing his bit. So you'll sort of
Okay.
yeah. So you can see how she ends up getting into certain areas and is able to help him out.
So it's like Leon Claire, Resident Evil 2 kind of
Yeah.
juxtaposition.
So it's all happening sort of simultaneously. And you know, you get these odd bits where you'll bump into Leon and it will play the same cutscene as you saw in the original Resident Evil 4, but now you'll see, oh, okay, so this is how I got to this point. She's a bit more agile than him as well. Like she's got this kind of grapple hook thing that she can just shoot out at any point, and so it makes traversal a bit more fun and interesting. But yeah, it's a pretty snappy 4 or 5 hours, but just from, you know, I'm not really a big DLC guy. I know I've got more DLC to talk about, but I don't normally go back into a game because I just loved Resident Evil 4 so much. It was like, I think it was like £8 for this.
All right.
So really, really good, really well made. Excellent game.
Good.
Excellent game.
I'm presuming the same could be said of Cuphead DLC.
Yes. Lewis, were you going to say something there?
Oh no, I'd seen you'd finished off the Cuphead DLC. Didn't know you were playing it.
Yeah.
It's done
like
again.
Don't like to tell you. So Cuphead DLC obviously came out a while ago. I started playing it, Dan, on the way to your stag do. Weirdly, so I started it there, didn't finish it, and then when we flew to New York a couple of weeks ago, I thought I quite enjoyed playing it on the plane.
It's like when you were distracted when we sat outside the gay bar with the prostitute.
Yeah. Played that. I find that a really. Normally, you think, I'm on a plane. I want to play something comforting and tranquil. I think I'm the opposite. I think I need anything that's
gripping.
like too meandering. I need something that's just right. I can just lock in and focus on this. The repetition, getting better at it gradually. But yeah, again, as we said with Mario Wonder, it's just pure, like, refined gameplay and creativity, and it's just like the big reward of that is obviously beating, one of the bosses and then seeing what the next one is, and that's just such a simple hook, but it's just fucking perfect. Like the art style, everything about it is just spot on. More Cuphead is always a good thing.
I think I'd like to revisit that post Elden Ring, because I think Elden Ring unlocks something in my brain where you can fail multiple times and learn more and more about a boss, whereas previously I was like, I don't want to play Cuphead, it's too difficult.
Yeah.
Again, Elden Ring completely scrapped that that headspace, that mindset, that mindset that I had towards those type of games, and it's just kind of opened up, I guess, possibilities to re-explore things like Cuphead. Might go back to it.
Yeah, there's something to be said for that, just beating your head against a brick wall. But whereas before, in the pre-Elden Ring days, we might have just gone, well, I'm shit at this, but realising that no, you will get better, you will understand it. It's obviously not impossible. It's just a case of persevering, trying different things, learning from your mistakes. It's like life. Cuphead, it's life.
Do we get a DLC Elden Ring next year?
I think they've advertised it.
Oh, it's going to be next year.
I suspect it's next year.
And GTA 6 will be the year after.
We'll
2025.
find out soon.
Could be next year as well.
Yeah, we'll find out soon.
It'll be
Yeah.
a stretch if it is, but another jam-packed year. Okay, the Crew Motorfest. We'll whiz through this, I guess, because it's not going to be a patch on anything else that you played.
Nah, I don't really have much. It's good and it's fun and I've enjoyed playing it. But it's just a kind of, as I've said before, it's just a version of Forza Horizon that just for me isn't quite as good as Forza Horizon, but I've still enjoyed it and I've liked it. And I love a car game and I like jumping into a little game like that, and that's kind of why I've been playing that. I've also been playing Hot Wheels 2, which I forgot to put on the list, which is a little bit of the same itch. Which has been good.
That reviewed really well, didn't it?
Yeah. It's a better version of the first one, really. The first one played really well. Second one adds a few more mechanics. You can kind of dodge the cars out the way, better tracks, better setting up. The story's got a wee bit, has actual bit of a story to it, the campaign mode and things. So it's just a better, more refined version of the first one, which is good. That's not too much to say about them, but I've enjoyed both.
And Goodbye Volcano High.
So there's the one I picked up ages ago, and for the thing that we're going to talk about has made me play it, and I've really been enjoying it. It's a kind of it's a story-based game with a bit of rhythm game into it, and I'm probably about halfway through, maybe a wee bit further than that, and it's about this one of these. They're all dinosaurs, and they want to be this dinosaur. They're all in school, and it's a kind of coming of age type thing. But there's a meteor coming to hit the planet, and all that kind of stuff. But it's quite a cool little story. It's really nice art style. The mini games and stuff are pretty good in terms of the music's pretty good. Enjoying it. So I'd recommend it for people that like that type of kind of it's light in the rhythm side. It's not like a rhythm game, but there's music in it, and there's like little bits to that music. It's more of a kind of story-driven thing. There's not much of a game to it. It's more of a kind of visual novel with a little bit of story in it.
Like Night in the Woods.
I've not played that, so I don't.
I think it is a wee bit like that. Yeah.
Wee
I
bit.
really want to play it. From everything I've heard, and the art style of it and the music sounds incredible.
Yeah, the
So,
music's good.
It's got a big
Yeah, I can
cult following online. I've seen quite a few
Yeah.
people with tattoos from it as well. Like it's in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So obviously it's
It's probably
resonated
some
quite
of the
well.
things it deals with, like in terms of it's quite topical in some of the tones in it around like
I
kind
think
of
they say
transgender.
woke.
No, I would, but it's like it does kind of deal with some like tough topics, which probably why it does kind of get that following out there.
Yeah,
That's nice. Okay.
and apparently the writing and the voice acting is supposed to be top
Yeah,
notch
it's
as well.
really
So
good. Yeah, it's really good.
really good, and it's only $14.99
Yeah, it's quite cheap. Yeah.
at the moment. On, do you know what? I'm going to buy it right now.
What's that on?
That's on
PlayStation
PS5 that I'm looking at. I think it's on Steam as well, if you're that way inclined.
And it
Some
has
visionaries that would have added that to their fantasy critic.
I'm curious now whether or not owning the thing that you own at the moment is pushing you to buy those types of games as well, because I
Yeah,
can't see
that's
that.
what pushed me to play it.
Yeah.
Shut up. Let's leave that there. That's enough of an answer. We'll get to that in a minute. Alex, last one for you that we'll come back to before we talk about the thing is Spider-Man 2. So how far are you into that at the moment?
I think I'm just about at the last bit. I think.
Okay.
I feel
Out of
like
10
I'm
so
right.
far?
8, 7.5, 8.
Generous.
It's more. It's Spider-Man. Like ultimately, it's Spider-Man. But I've got to the stage with it where I feel like it's a bit of a slog. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of done with this now. Like,
Yeah. I was like that with the first one.
it's
Couple of
it's
times.
and that's not even doing all the stuff around about me. That's me just playing the story, and I don't know. It's just not clicked this time. Like none of it is not enjoyable. Like, and none of it is not well done and well presented and good quality of life improvements, some good extra skills and things like that brought in. The story's pretty good, but there's just something about it. I'm just like, I'm not like sitting there going, oh, I need to play this. But it's just
That seems common. Like so many people are saying that, but there's
Yeah.
also so many folks saying, "Oh, it's the best game ever." But
it's not.
I think it's really common with all of the big sequels that have happened recently. So, like, Tears of the Kingdom's had the same kind of effect where it's almost like died a death. Like, no one really is talking about it. No one's, like, the reverence for that game's kind of, everyone's gone, reviewed it, amazing, fantastic, but really, the zeitgeist hasn't been elevated to levels like Breath of the Wild, even though that game is elevated compared to Breath of the Wild. So it'd be quite curious to know whether or not people are just a bit jaded of sequels at this point.
I'm quite surprised it's ended up in the running for Game of the Year.
Yeah,
Like,
I was
I
surprised.
don't feel like compared to some other games, like I don't know, it just doesn't. It's not up there for my Game of the Year. Like, and that's not anything against it. It's just not resonated with me well, like high enough to be up there.
It's a technical marvel. Excuse the pun, in terms of the way the game operates and like, but then, and even comparing it to like the first two, if you include Miles Morales as a second, 1.5, like those games looked awesome, fantastic, but the elevation into 2 is astronomical. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But that doesn't always. I'm sick of Marvel. I'm just bored to death of watching Marvel TV shows. Marvel. I'm kind of the same as Star Wars. I'm a little bit saturated with it. Like anything Disney at the moment, I think the games are probably suffering from that. Like the Wolverine game, if it's in the same mechanics with the same kind of city structure, it's really going to struggle because they're not doing anything different. But that's Insomniac's bag. That's what they've always done very, very well. So I'm a little bit worried about that game. But yeah, from what I've seen, Spider-Man 2, I haven't picked it up. I had major FOMO for like the first couple of days, but then I rode out and I was like, I think that'll be a game that'll come to PS Plus in the next 6 months. Feels relatively nailed on. That'll come, or at least it'll be on the one of the subscription packages at some point. So I might give it a go. But has anyone else played it? or is it just Alex?
Yeah, I think I've had like one proper, maybe 2-hour session with it.
Well, you
got through the first.
You really committed to the first and Miles Morales, and you love those games, and you platinum them. So
Yeah, I mean the first Spider-Man was the reason I got a PS4. That was the one game I was like, yes, I am going to love that. And I did.
forgot that you didn't have all this before.
it's mad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then he bought all the games that then came out
all the
on
games.
PS Plus.
And look at me now. I'm a pony.
We'll get to it.
But yeah, so I think the problem was I wasn't that excited about playing it in the first place. Like, because you know what you're going to get. But I think it's one of them where there will come a time when I'm in the mood for something mindless and just easy, and I think this is the game for that. I think it's a similar vibe with, like, I haven't played Forbidden West yet, as much as I loved the original Horizon. And it's just like, I know I'm going to love it when I'm in that mood. And I think this is going to be the same. The first, like, the opening boss fight, Alex, is spectacular. Like, it is. It is amazing, but at the same time, it's like, all right, guys, this is expensive. I get it. Like, you know, you're impressing me. But at the same time, it's just not what I was in the mood for. And I do think, getting back to your point, Dan, I think there's been a lot of, like, even for myself, there's a lot of jumping into games, having a little nibble, going, oh yeah, save that for later. You know, Armored Core 6, fucking loved that first chapter, but I haven't gone back to it since. Tears of the Kingdom, 40 hours, amazing. Got a bit jaded, haven't touched it since. You know, you could name every big game that's come out this year, and it's almost the same story. And I think it's just too much choice. You're kind of spoiled. You know,
It's weird, isn't it?
That's another reason why I think people don't speak about games for any length of time now, is that there's always something else they want to jump back into or go to, even.
Well, that's almost like a little segue into Alan Wake 2 as well. So that's another one. I played the first chapter or two of that on Halloween and haven't gone back to it since. And I loved it.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck yes, this is perfect. I'm well into this. And I haven't gone back into it.
See, I saw Andy from Kind of Funny doing a bit of a playthrough of it.
Yeah.
And there were I think it was a clip on Instagram, and there was like 2 or 3 jump scares in it, and it's completely put me off it. I
don't think they're that bad.
I'm a wet wipe when it, like, the first game was on the boundary of being unplayable for me, but
Really?
just because I don't like horror games, I'm not great with them.
But you loved the first game, right?
Loved it, absolutely loved it, absolutely amazing. One of the main reasons I'll always go back to the 360 is being one of my favorite consoles, like top 2 or 3. But yeah, Lewis, come on, take it away.
I would say that you've probably seen the jump scares that happen very early on. I'm talking
Like literally
Like ladies'
seconds
faces
into the game.
Yeah.
like just appearing.
So that you can almost, as the game goes on, predict when that's going to happen. Because you go, I've not had a thing to take over the screen for a while, and you still get like a wee fright, but it's not as bad as what it was initially. But yeah, that game, really, I was really looking forward to playing it, and man, did I love Alan Wake 2. It's just such a well-written, well-paced game. The story is so good. I have gone on record before to say the best set piece in gaming is the ashtray maze from Control. I'm now going to rephrase that and say there's a bit in Alan Wake 2 that makes the ashtray maze from Control look like just a load of walls moving around.
Wow.
Okay.
It's such a good game.
So
I'm really looking forward to the DLC coming out.
So classify the game for me. What is it to you? So
It's a survival horror.
Survival horror game. Okay, so it's about inventory management. It's about
Limited resource. Yep.
limited resource. Okay, and then the other element. So there's 2 games that are happening at once. Are both survival horror? Is one detective? Is one survival horror? explain the dynamic, or is it kind of just the same for both?
It's both the same. So
Okay.
their stories sort of intermingle.
And one's more supernatural than the other. I think I could deal with the supernatural stuff more.
Yeah, I'd say they're both maybe on par. They're just running concurrently. I think that's what our friend Sam said from EGX, is that you can more or less
Personal chat.
Yes, my friend Sam, Sam Lake to you. You get to a certain point and you can pick whose story you want to go with. But you're also prompted, remember, you can go here and you can swap back to Alan's story. So when it did that, I was like, Alan. Or Saga, you can jump back and forward. So when it prompted me to do it, I was like, is there a reason why it's telling me, oh, remember, you can go and do this? So I was like, fine. I would jump back and I'd go and deal with that story. So I'd have them both at the same time. But it's such a cool game. Such a cool game. It just like oozes out of it.
Yeah.
Even the Alan, when the title screen first pops up for the first time, and it's just the word Alan on the screen, and then Wake, and then
Unsexiest.
yeah. Like, I love the one good thing about Control was the font, and they have
Yes.
they have raised the bar with this one.
Yeah.
It is incredible. But I completely agree with what you've said. Obviously, Lewis, I'm very early on, but fucking cool as fuck and pretty. Like, it is one of the best looking games I've ever played. Like, legit. That is just so amazing to look at as well.
And you're both playing it on PS5?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I remember that.
It's everything I kind of want it to be. I didn't know how long it was going to be when I first played it. It probably took longer than the game lasted longer than I expected it to, which I think sometimes could be a negative, but it wasn't for this. I still wanted more when it finished. And I know there's DLC coming at some point. I think Sam said that it was coming pretty shortly after launch, so waiting for that to release. But yeah, man, it's really cool. I do have, it wasn't perfect. There were bits that I found quite tricky, because not only are you panicking at certain points, like, fuck, get away from me. It's quite difficult. I was like, this shouldn't be this hard, but it's probably to do with just the fact that you're shitting yourself.
What difficulty did you play on?
Not selling it.
I'm not here to sell. Ben can sell things. I'm here to be honest, but just the standard difficulty setting.
So I started it on easy, and Dan, I think this is the way to go.
Okay, yeah, we'll be.
For me, because I'm a pussy
Sell
as well.
it to me, come on.
And not having to dump like a whole round of ammunition into one enemy, just having that confidence of like, I'm in charge here. I'm not. It does make you less scared when you know you're not going to run out of ammo.
Yeah,
just because you can just aim like crazy and kill off everything. So I think that helps. Also, Dan, Andy Cortez has come out and said he hams it up on his streams.
Yeah.
Like, and he did it in particular for Alan Wake. I don't think those jump scares are that bad.
Yeah.
Like, and you know they're going to happen. And
once you've had the first couple, you're like, okay, so it's going to do this.
Yeah. Okay.
And even then, there was the jump scare that we've seen in the presentation for the opening night live.
So I was going to say, it's some of my mates when we're like, just come on, Nemesis, it's fine. At Alton Towers. Like, honestly, it's not that bad. All right.
It's fine.
Piss myself.
But also, like, co-streaming it would be good as well, because I think playing it with someone else
takes... I can get blooded, like, just talking about it, let alone what it'd be like with playing it.
I would recommend it.
I really want to play it because I love the first one and the story is so interesting. I've never watched Twin Peaks and I don't know why I've never like committed to it, because it's just, again, a series and a style of content, the eeriness, it just appeals to me perfectly, but I've never invested in it. So yeah, I do feel I've got to play it. I will pick it up. Oh shit, is this going to be my Elden Ring to survival horror? It might be.
Yeah, there's lots in it that sort of little Easter eggs and in jokes almost that you'd love.
Okay. Shit. Okay.
It sounds like he's trying to sell it to me.
I'm very excited by that. So, in terms of the games that you played this year, last kind of thought on it. Where are you ranking that?
I don't know.
It's hard. Okay, leave it there. Don't talk about that part. Okay, so we've got a few things left to talk about. No, we haven't. We've only got one more thing to talk about. Fuck. Another thing I've got to spend money on. The PlayStation Portal released, and there's a tweet that's been flying around that has flown in the face of 1.5 million people. The last time I checked, it might be more. Saying this is the perfect way to play handheld. That tweet was from none other than our resident DJ Benji Kong. Part of it, I think you've been Cortezing the internet a little bit this week purposely because you found it quite fun, and I think it has been hilarious from the group chat. You can join at patreon.com/thecrossplayers. Alex, you've got one. Ben, you've got one. Lewis, you haven't got one, but Lewis, very quickly, do you want one now?
There is an appeal. I know I sort of shat on it before.
Well. He's so frugal. He's so frugal. So he might want one. This is a good thing. This is the PlayStation Portal that we're talking about. You don't have to fucking faff about whether it's a 16 gigabyte, a 52 million gigabyte thingy. This is just a handheld DualSense that's been ripped apart with a gorgeous screen that's just been splattered into the middle of it.
And amazing lights.
And amazing opening and all that kind of wonderful stuff. Just you guys talk. Take over, sell it to me.
Do we need to?
No.
I think you're already sold, to be fair.
I've already got clearance, but yeah, come on. When one fucking comes available, it's meant to be
Did
today.
you not get one this morning when they all come in stock? No,
because I didn't see it and I was doing a school run. So,
yeah. Go on, Alex.
I mean, I wasn't buying one of these, and at the last minute last week, I was just like, fuck it, I'm just going to buy one. And I did. And I do not regret it one single little bit. It plays beautifully. I'm not saying it's perfect. It is not perfect. Like, you'll have little bits where it'll maybe drop a wee bit, or the sound will maybe cut out a wee bit. Or it'll
Define drop. Sorry.
Well, actually, the only drop's not right. So, the gameplay wise, I've had no issues whatsoever. The only thing I've had issue with is sound. So in the odd occasion, the sound will like almost like clip out a wee bit and then catch up. But the gameplay wise and everything is fine. Like in terms of lag or stuff, I don't think I've noticed anything. Like I've beaten bosses in Spider-Man on it, which is, that's quite quick. All those Spider-Man fights are quite quick. You need to time those counters. You need to like.
Does it have its own operating system that it updates? So
no,
it's just it must have.
It's just there's a very bare bones sort of menu, settings menu and stuff, but there's no. It is just a mirror of
PS5.
The PS5. Yeah.
So I was hoping that. I guess if the PS5 gets an update, then presumably they'll patch out things in the future around the clipping of audio or whatever for the.
But I'd imagine that's as much to do with my network as it is to do with the handheld itself. Like it
1,000%.
Yeah.
It's just a network issue.
Okay.
Yeah. Not meaning to defend the poor.
No, like I'm pretty sure it probably is, but I mean, even then, it's like not noticeable. Well, it is noticeable because I've noticed it, but it's not like anything you're like, oh my god, this is awful.
Nothing game breaking.
No,
but there's
a lag.
It's just that there's a clip out, not lag, but if there's a clip out with audio.
Apologies, I'm just going through the comments.
Yeah, but it's not. I wouldn't even say it's a clip out. It's almost just every so often you just get like a very slight crackle. Like it's not even.
It'll cut out for a second, but that is pretty standard for streaming. Like when I played Little Nightmares 2, when was that? A couple of years ago, Lewis. We played that.
Yeah, a couple of years ago.
I played that over Stadia
together.
And it was
podcast on it.
It was like that. This is but this experience is vastly superior to that. I, unlike Alex, didn't do it at the last minute. It was like as soon as this was announced, it was like, yeah, I'm getting it. And from that point on, I was like, right, I need to sort my home network out. And I was, playing Celeste on the backbone going, okay, well, there's a bit of cutout here. Tyler, what's wrong with my internet? Like, and he helped me get it up to scratch.
What you got to do is, you've got to do this.
And is that how he talks? And, I don't know. No, Tyler talks like this.
Been a while.
So yeah, and he helped me sort all that out, and it's just it absolutely sings like it feels. I said this on when we talked about it briefly on Crossbutton VR.
Pause 1 second. I know you're going to be impactful, but you need to pause. What internet speeds and who are your ISPs and all that shit? Just give me a little bit of a rundown of your tech base.
Virgin.
You're a virgin, okay? Alex, are you a virgin?
No, mine is my ISP's TalkTalk, but it's my download speed's like a gigabyte and my upload speed's 100 meg, so it's
Okay, so your top tier Ben's not
like I'm not really sure. I think it goes anywhere between 200 to it says like 500 because I've got the portal running off a dedicated band.
So you got one band for it, okay.
Nothing else is on that at all.
So that's the 5, and
yeah,
2 bands in the house with the Wi-Fi system. You got 2.4 gigahertz, which is your day-to-day shit, and then you got
everyone else is on that.
Then you got 5 gigahertz, which is meant to be there for top tier service,
high speed guaranteed.
Okay, so then
I haven't got the PS5 running through an Ethernet, although that's supposed to be way more stable. I find the PS5 gets faster speeds. 5 gigahertz, so I just leave it on wireless. And there's a few more settings on the PS5 that I can't remember. It was something like it.
you can tell it just to be in 5.
Yeah, you can, because sometimes it will try and switch between 2.4 and 5. So you can lock it in so it only stays on 5.
Okay.
And then a lot of that lag and glitching and stuff just melts away.
Ooh.
So there's a bit. I would say there's a bit of work to get it right. I would say if you start it up and go, oh, hang on, this isn't working properly. There's stuff you can do. It's not because it's crap. It's because the setup needs a bit of tweaking. But
okay, so
once it's there,
you've tweaked. You've got it to the point that you're happy with, and there's a very well documented video of you playing it in a coffee shop. Can you?
Indeed, yeah.
Talk about distance, proximity, how that worked.
So I just put my 5G hotspot on my phone.
So you got 5G, 4 bars.
Yeah, I didn't look at the bars, but I live in the capital city. It's reasonably good.
Every time I've been there, the signal's been shit.
Yeah, me too.
Let me see.
I'm on 3
I
though.
was in Crystal Palace, which is like the highest. I don't know if that's got anything to do with it. It was like the highest point in London.
Wilfred Zaha. He doesn't play
He was
there
there
anymore.
with me in the cafe.
Yeah.
So I was trying to think of an old Crystal Palace player. Mark Bright. So
Ian Wright.
yeah, and again, 5G. My 5G is like getting speeds of God knows 400.
Yeah.
So it's just not an issue at all.
No.
So easily played Spider-Man out in public, rock solid, no complaints whatsoever. The big complaint, Alex, I'm sure you'll agree, and most people will say this, is the lack of Bluetooth.
Yeah. Okay.
It is a shame, but it's like not the end of the world. Like we managed with the Switch for God knows how many years without Bluetooth.
Everyone's got a pair of headphones still. I'm assuming because we're all hoarders anyway that are wired. And so I was prepared to do that, and I've got an adapter for these headphones, which I use for recording. So I was going
of course, it's got them. But
And
there's
the
that.
speakers
hanging them up
themselves-
like a used condom.
The speakers
Speakers are
on the
fine.
thing are fine as well. Like if you're
And that my particular use case is right. I've got the PS5 here right next to me, but I'm going to be laying on the sofa just over there, playing on the Portal in the same room. The Pulse 3D is still the sound is still coming out of my PS5.
Yeah.
So I'm just wearing the Pulse 3D, chilling out on the sofa with the Portal. So I'm not. I don't need to use a wire when I'm in the same room.
Is that because your telly isn't to spec, or is that just because you prefer that experience of being handheld?
I generally prefer it.
Okay.
Like, I generally can't be asked to sit upright and play on a big screen.
Yeah. Okay.
Not to mention, the judgment that I receive every time I do want to do that. Like, sometimes it's nice just to let somebody else use the TV, and I'll just do my thing. I'm not like Laurie. I can't just go, watch something on your iPad, darling.
Get into the cupboard.
It's very much the other way around in this house.
Okay.
So, it's just perfect. It's not going to be for everyone,
No.
as you will have seen from Twitter. But for the way I like to play, pretty fucking perfect.
Lewis, can you prepare some of the great comments on there, please? Alex, so your
Close it.
experience.
I thought we were doing this later.
Oh, we
Bin
will.
chat.
We will for a bin chat. Actually, should we do it for a bin chat?
Yeah.
So if you want to
should,
listen
yeah.
to the comments from Ben's tweets, you can go onto Twitter and find him. I'm not going to tell you what his address is because that would ruin it. Or you can go to patreon.com/crossplayers and you can join for £2 to listen to this exclusively on Patreon. I think we provide the feeds to just Spotify now, or is it pretty much all of them still?
No, you can just get it if you are on Spotify. You can
RSS
search
it.
for Bin Chat, and you can subscribe directly from Spotify. Basically,
Hear all the nasty things that Ben's received.
Yeah, and he's also not answered them. I want answers tonight, Ben.
Yeah.
I've answered the friendly ones,
The friendly ones.
of
You've
which
answered
there
the
were 5.
They were from us. Alex, so Ben's been glowing about this. So are you equally as glowing at the moment?
I mean, the only complaint I had is the one that I said, like in terms of how I expected to have more issues than I've had with it. If I'm totally honest, I thought like actual gameplay issues. I expected, how that way if you're streaming something to your phone and the colour will cut out or something and it'll catch up and it'll pixelate. There's been absolutely no pixelation at all at any point, like while I've been playing this. It just like it feels so good to have the DualSense implementation there. Like it just is the right way to do this. I think, and it improves. Like I know I joked at the beginning about the lights, but see the lights down the sides of down the way they've implemented the lights on the DualSense on this, it does really actually accentuate it really well, better than the DualSense does itself for these things.
Yep.
Does it feel sturdy? Feel a premium? Is it all the things that
Very.
you'd hope?
It's very light. I think probably my biggest complaint at the minute is I don't know where to put it. Like actually storing it is a pain in the arse.
Yeah.
Like it just sits, but you kind of want to have something to put it on because you're a bit scared of like the screen just smashing or something.
So obviously
And
you'll know,
for-
but one of the pluses of the Steam Deck is it came with a pretty decent case. Like I'll
Yeah.
always remember going, "Oh my god, it came with that."
Yeah.
Like I suppose that's the one peripheral
Yes.
of the peripheral that you actually want.
That's the thing. So mine's in the box that it came in.
But
yeah,
okay.
still.
That's actually something worth mentioning as well, though, because Ben and I joked about this together, but they actually put it in a nice box. This is the first PS5 product they've actually put in a nice box. Like the
Everything's
actual
been
box
shite.
itself's got a little tag and stuff on it at the end, and it's got some
Yeah.
logos and stuff. It's actually a nice box.
Well,
which
Microsoft
is a
I actually
step
think
up.
the whole thing is really well designed. Even
Yeah.
the charging cable, the USB-C charging cable, doesn't sit at the bottom of it. Like on the Switch, it does that. So it means like it's just popping out the bottom. It kind of is halfway through. It goes into this little lip on the back.
Under
Which,
there.
yeah, there we go. Alex is showing it off on the video,
Okay,
which just makes
okay.
it much less sort of
Oh.
obtrusive when you're playing on
that's
it.
clever.
So it
And even
sits
if you
right
do
up
plug some
here.
headphones in, it goes in the same place, and it's like it's not just poking out the bottom. It's kind of It's so if you've got a battery pack attached to it, if you're out in public, you can just sit it somewhere else and almost forget that it's plugged in. So I am a big fan and a big advocate. And
You're defensive
Yeah.
about this. I can see the vibe in a good way. I think it's because it's been so spirited online, and I think the main challenger is like, well, you just buy a Steam Deck. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm like you. I'm like I hate the Greg Miller argument of just fuck off the PC, buy a console, it just works. But if you're able to go and spend that amount of money, and you're able to, for £200 for a controller, really, with a screen on it, that just works. And you don't have to faff about with downloading anything. You don't have to faff about with patching something in, even though it's easy to some people. It's just a faff to me. I don't want to go and do that stuff. If I can play any of those PS5 games seamlessly that eradicates my need for a Steam Deck, because that's why my use case for a Steam Deck was I'm sat there on the sofa with the missus, I'm playing a game that I want to play, and I'm playing it in an annoyingly low quality resolution, or I'm playing it in a downgraded version because, you know, the missus is watching Love Island or whatever it might be on the television. Like, I don't want that experience. Like, if this seems to give me a premium gaming experience but doesn't compromise on the quality or the fidelity of the actual video or audio, it just gives you exactly that as a feed. So presuming it negates a large percentage of latency, I mean, this is the future, isn't it? Like, this is exactly what we all want. If you could do that over mobile networks and plug a SIM card into that, I mean, Microsoft must be, Phil Spencer sat there right now going, fuck, why haven't we done that? Or they might have already.
Well, that's what, and everyone will say, well, Microsoft's been doing this for years.
No.
Well, they haven't. Like, they've made it available on any device.
Not dedicated.
The device that people are suggesting is a phone with a backbone or a phone with a clip onto your controller. All very, like, gimpy, compromised versions. And even the Steam Deck is a workaround after a workaround after a workaround that you have to tinker with. This, once it's set up, it just does one thing and it does it extremely well. And that, for people that are sort of time poor, and maybe don't have access to the TV or don't want to play the TV, it's £200 well spent.
A marginalised group of time poor people, by the way.
Yeah.
We're actually poor. No, we're time poor.
But I was just going to say, even to your point, Dan, around like simplicity and ease of use, like, see, when you switch this thing on, you literally, it's a little bit of setup to connect to your console initially, and I'm literally, you're talking less than 5 minutes. So it's, if even that, it literally, you switch it on and it then just automatically connects your PS5. So there's no like connect to PS5 and then it's like press X to play. That's it. You literally press X. Your little portal comes up. You're into your PS5 and you're just in the PS5. Like,
they're the parts I'm just like blown away by. Like, the simplicity of it's amazing. Like, I think Sony has nailed that, especially with the VR2. Like, when you put that on, and even the experience, like mapping out a room, or just everything feels simple. It feels like nice. It feels fun. Which I never used to associate any of those words with Sony. Like PS2, PS3, PS4 era, it was always convoluted, difficult. It's nice that they're nailing their peripherals now, and it feels like they're actually taking a leap ahead of what other people are doing. It's blowing the backbone out the water. Those poor people must just be like, well, what the fuck do we do now with our company? Which is when did the PS5 version come out? Less than a year ago for backbone?
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago at all.
Earlier this year,
harsh. That's so harsh. I know it's £200. I know it's double and a bit now with Black Friday deals and stuff like that. But yeah, it's completely eradicated that need. It's just the main thing I've got, and the problem I've got with most of the people that were commenting on Ben's post, and we'll talk about some of it in a minute. It was a load of anime wielding morons that are early adopters, quote unquote, which are the worst version of anything when it comes to PC gaming. And they are PC gamers, and they're people basically going like, I'm happy to go and tweak everything about this fucking thing to make it work the way that I want to. And I'm also happy to compromise on some of the things that other people might find that are valuable, which is graphical fidelity, which is the IP that you can't find on my console. All the things they'll diminish and degrade to get their point of view across. Like, just absolute fucking idiots. And to some extent, I'd say anyone at the moment defending a Steam Deck to go, that's the better option, needs to give their head a bit of a wobble, because it's not about having a better option. It's about what is the best experience that individual wants. And if they want graphical fidelity, which, for example, Carl wants, like, he just gets a fucking rock on whenever he gets like a very good looking game. So if he can have that experience but not kick his missus off the telly while she's watching the tennis, like, that's the best possible experience that you could possibly have. Whereas other people might go, you know what, I want to play Super Smash Brothers on the N64 for 30 minutes, but I want to spend 4.5 days getting that to work. That's their prerogative. They can go and do that. So yeah, I think if this is working and this is a step in the direction of people really fucking wanting this thing, I can get behind that more than I can get behind the Vita. I can get behind that more than I was behind the PSP, and I love those handhelds. They were amazing to me. I think probably one of the first people in the UK to have a PSP. I pre-ordered it from America at the point and ordered it from a place in Liverpool called the Chip Shop, and it was a little fatty back then, and it was very funny. So to see handhelds taking that leap, and specifically Sony being the ones to push that envelope, that's fucking weird, and it's fucking cool. So
Yeah, great.
So
I'm not
go
having
buy
another
it.
beer.
Or don't. Whatever.
Don't. Yeah, like if you want to mod a whatever, just
Or
do
get
whatever you want to do.
Get a
Fucking hell, man.
tablet and
And Andrew, that was balmy. That argument persuaded me to get one, because the argument to make it sound simplistic to go and do those things to people like me is just like, it's an aphrodisiac for simplicity, where I just went, you know what? No, if that gives me that experience that I wanted with the Steam Deck, and I'm not going to go and buy 4 things to make that work, I just have to buy one and have a decent internet connection, which we do luckily have. Yeah, fuck it. Amazing. And I'm so happy that it's actually proven to be a purchase that you guys have happened. I've used that DualSense Edge 3 times in the last 6 months.
I use that all the time.
Yeah, but you
will
play
definitely
games,
use
like...
this, Dan, as well, because
Oh no, Will.
I think you're in a similar boat to me, whereas,
The office in
might
Liverpool
dip
has
into
good
something.
internet, mate. Again, I can just hook up to the Wi-Fi in there and play my PS5. I tried to do it with Fall Guys, and that was probably a terrible game to play it with on my Mac. With the old PS streaming, whatever it's called, and it just didn't work. So I was like, it was a bit laggy and didn't like it, so I kind of went away from it. But this seems to get 98% of the way there. But the next version will be incredible.
Yeah. But stay tuned for the Pulse Explorer first impressions in a couple of weeks' time as well.
We need to call. We need a podcast for this. Okay, so we've covered off most of the things I think that we want to talk about. Anything AOB?
So.
AOB?
No, that is enough.
Can't remember anything else I've bought. So
Piece of shit.
Chance of Sonar. I picked that up
chance.
specifically to play on the Portal.
Is that
I've heard
Jusant?
very, very good things about that as well.
J-U...
And I played Jusant,
Jusant.
and that's on Game Pass, and that's a big recommendation
Okay.
for fans of Journey and climbing.
Okay.
The band and the activity.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
I don't even know if this Patreon list is still normal. Ethan Hunt, Nate Ellingsworth, Carl Hughes, Sean Hughes, Jason Frost, Sarah Perbrick, Rebecca Rudranath, Luke Coopus, Kevin Scully, Mark Hammond, Runestone, Phil Marshall, Eamon Macaulay, Phil Henshaw, Daniel Mew, Games with T, Big Ol' Reese's Pieces,
Yep.
Andrew Dickinson, and Max Never Right is in there as well. They're all our lovely patrons that have waited 6 weeks for us to do absolutely anything. So thank you very much for being patient. Thank you for bearing with us. We love you all sincerely. What else?
Speak for yourself.
We
He's doing it again. He's doing that thing where he pretends to be horrible, but he really loves you.
he tolerates you, but at the same point, he reveres you. It's fine. You are his PlayStation Portal. Lads, anything else before we clock off?
Nice to be back.
It is an hour and 38 minutes of just us talking shit about games, which is exactly what it should be. And it sounds like we need to get into the ribs of our top 20s, Benny's 20s, or whatever we called it, next week. So if you liked what we did, go over to patreon.com. I've said this multiple times. Patreon.com/the cross players. You can join the Patreon and join the WhatsApp through there. We've got t-shirts. We've got all sorts. That is glorious. You fucking weirdo one. Look at that. It's got Jenny the potato one and a toe. Why is there a toe on there with an Amazon box? You'll never know. Why is James Corden on there dying out of a plane? You'll never know. Tory Alert, Bin Shah, and Laurie in the top saying, Queef. and Max as a nonce in an ice cream van. If that is
True story.
that is an SEO. True story. If that is an SEO, I don't know what is. So if you've searched for Max as a nonce in ice cream van and found us, then welcome. You're amongst friends. Lads, tell us about the Cross Button VR podcast that comes out every Monday. Is it still?
Tuesday, 6:30 a.m.
6:30 a.m. You're doing
PSVR Tuesday.
I saw
Tuesday.
comments about that though, going, it's good that it comes out early because it means that people can listen to it on the way to work.
Yeah.
So there you
Aiden's
go.
getting up and
routine
posting it nice and early for everybody.
Yeah,
It's not scheduled or anything. You're just
Yeah.
you're getting up in the morning.
Crack of
editing
dawn.
it, then getting out
Get
immediately.
off me, Dawn. I need to post a podcast.
But
Tell us about it. So where can we find it? It's on separate feed, Cross Button VR, and all.
search for Cross Button VR and basically anywhere, and you should find it. And the Cross Players on YouTube, it shares the feed over there. So,
Wunderbar. Okay, Lewis, love you.
Right.
Ben, love you.
Goodbye.
Alex, love you.
no.
In his pants there. Alex.
Alex, oh, love you. Bye.